Hello, I'm Andrea. This is day 10 of 2022, and our mantra today is my body is well. My body is well. We are going to head down to the floor and we're going to find our core. So, feet on the floor, knees bent. We need to find our core for stability. Stability. Have you ever, when you walk out on the slippery ice, something like that, and you feel really wobbly, you feel this tenseness on the inside. That is your core turning on to protect you, to keep you from falling on your face. But we don't, I hope, always walk around on ice. We want to engage the core when we're doing hard things and we need stability, bending over, picking something up, walking on unstable ground, holding ourselves in plank pose. Let's move the internal organs, shall we? Breathe into the front and back of the torso. It's nice and gentle, feeling the breath expand into the back and the front of the torso. Now breathe into the sides. I invite you to touch the sides of your ribs with the backs of your fingers. So as you breathe, you feel that widening. I like to do at least 2 of those. And then high and low, top and bottom. So a hand down towards the pubic bone, hand up by the collarbone. And we are inhaling into the hands, moving the diaphragm. I was in anatomy class yesterday, and Tom Myers was talking about how the diaphragm is the most important muscle. It contracts down when you breathe in, and it expands up when you exhale. Rest your hands and breathe in all directions, inhaling front, back, side, side, top, bottom. You don't need to force or try to be perfect, just feeling. And then just let the breath return to a natural rhythm. Let's take a big yawning stretch. Slide one leg out, then the other. Separate the feet, take the arms overhead, and reach out like the letter X. Arch the back off the ground. Take a big breath. And relax on the floor. Do it again, ready? Press through the heels, press through your hands, arch the back. Big breath. And release. That's a pendiculation. That's what your cat, your dog does. And then bend one knee. Rotate the foot out as you bend the knee and bring the foot up. Rotate the foot out and bend the knee. And with our feet on the floor, knees bent, let's move the spine. Inhale, and as you exhale, draw the belly in. Feel the back flatten to the floor. And as you inhale, let the pubic bone move down, lower back lifts off the floor. Belly in, back flat is a tuck. Inhale, back arches, that's an untuck. Nice and slow, move back and forth. See if when you create the movement, you can focus on the belly. When you go to the tuck, it's because your belly button is pulling down so strong towards the floor. And when you go to that tuck and the belly is in strong, be light on your feet and don't clench your butt. When you untuck, you're arching, contracting the muscles along your back and stretching through the front. So I often get a message, I think I got 2 or 3 last week, oh, my back hurts and I forget what to do. When in doubt, tuck and untuck. It's not fast, it's not hard, and you need to do it for about a minute. All right, last one. And we're going to pause in a neutral position. I always feel like I can make myself a little longer through the spine now. Go ahead and make yourself a little longer. Let's bring one knee to the chest. And we're just going to bring the knee in, move it out, move it over. You can create circles if you like. We're just moving the hip joint. Sometimes you need a strap for this next part. You're going to take your foot up to the ceiling. So my elbows are straight. So if you can't straighten your leg, you could soften your knee right now. And we're just going to start with the toes. So I want you to, can't figure out which way to go. There we go. I want you to start with your toes and just scrunch the toes and let them relax. Scrunch the toes and let them relax. Scrunch and relax. Now bend the ankle. Press through the heel, point the toe. Press through the heel, point the toe. Press through the heel, point the toe. And now circle the ankle a couple times in each direction. Oh, geez, it just cracked real loud. And then we're just going to bend and straighten the knee. I'm just going to bend the knee and straighten the knee. This is such a simple thing. But if you have knee issues, if you just do this before you get out of bed, or you don't want to have knee issues, just bend and straighten your knee. And then let's come back to the hip. And then just kind of circle in the hip. Hold the knee in. Let's take a long breath. And let's do the other one. So I'm going to bring the other leg in. Oh, this hip is a little tight, stiff, and achy, so I'm going to move the hip around a little bit. And then we're going to take our foot up towards the sky. So I'm going to hold on to the back of my leg, and I can use my strap. I'm going to straighten out my leg. I'm going to start in my toes. I'm going to bend the toes, scrunch them up, and then let them relax. And pull them back the other way. So I scrunch, and then pull them back. Scrunch, pull them back. Push through the heel, and gently point the toe. Press through the heel. And we're just getting our tissues to move. You know, and when I press through my heel, it's moving the fascia from the bottom of the foot all the way down your calf. You can probably feel that. Circle the ankle. And then we're just going to bend the knee. So I bend and straighten my knee. And that creates a release of synovial fluid in the joint. Doesn't take a lot, just a couple times. And then as I hold my knee in, I'm going to come back and do whatever feels good. I'm going to do a couple little circles. Pause and hold. And then let's bring the foot back down to the ground. All right, so let's try, I'm gonna take let's all do the same leg. I don't think it really matters. I'm gonna take my right leg. I'm gonna bring my right leg over top. I'm gonna bring my arms down on the floor. And we're gonna move this stretchy thing. We're gonna pull the belly button down, flatten the back, go into a tuck, and bring the knees to the chest. And then put the foot on the floor and untuck. So my arms are down, they're bracing me. My belly comes in, it braces my back flat so I can lift up my legs, which are pretty heavy. And then put the foot down and untuck. So we're getting a little bit more untuck, tuck and untuck. We're asking the abdominal muscles to work a little harder now. But all the abdominal muscles are doing is they pull in and they hold your spine in place so you can lift your legs up. They're not lifting your legs up. They're not lifters. They're not movers. They're stabilizers. Last one, and we can hold it in. And this time, I'm going to keep my arms down and see if you can just make some little circles. And it's like my bottom leg is the driver, and it's moving my legs around. I know it makes your belly muscles work. That's, And then we're going to come into the stretch. You can hold the knees. Use a strap if you like. Rock a little left to right if that feels good. Another little tweak you can do here is the leg that's on the top, you might slide that hand down the shin bone towards your ankle and then just pull the ankle down towards the floor. And it externally rotates your hip, bringing some stretch into that right hip. When you're ready, we're going to untangle and we're going to do the other side. Start with your feet on the floor. Bring your left leg crossing high at the thigh. Hands are on the ground. They're actually going to help you. They're going to help brace. I'm going to inhale, and as I exhale, draw the belly in, feel the back flatten, then lift the knees up. Lower the knees, foot to the floor, and untuck. Lift the back. And when you go to the tuck, feel the back flat, then lift the legs. So we're not in a hurry to lift the legs. We want to feel, I'm supporting my back so I can lift up my legs. And if you're happy doing that, you can keep going. When you're ready, we're going to stay in, and I'm going to make circles with my knees. And I feel like the bottom leg is the guiding leg. It's pushing my top leg around. I'll try going the other direction. Waking up those belly muscles. And then when you're done, bring that foot back to the floor, and we'll go feet wide, arms wide. Now we'll do internal and external rotation with our windshield wipers, both knees to the right, head to the left, and then knees to the left, head to the right. Now you can keep your arms low, or you could take them up high. Noticing this lengthening feeling through your waist. Oh my goodness, feels so good. One or two more. You just do it till you're like, all right, that's good. I've had enough. And then we're going to pause in the center, one knee at a time, bring it back to the chest, and just kind of hug and rock those legs in. we're going to roll over to the belly. Take your time. Ugh. Moaning and groaning as you go. And on the belly, make yourself nice and long and have your feet apart from each other. If you have spinal stenosis through the lumbar, this one probably isn't for you. And if you're joining me, you don't need to leave. If you have stenosis, or you're just feeling a little lazy this morning, you're gonna rest in half frog. The rest of us are gonna keep the feet apart. You're gonna bring the arms down by your sides, tuck your chin, and bring your forehead to the floor. And we're going to wake up the back of the body. So what I want you to do is just very simply lift the left leg. Don't think about it too much. Keep the knees straight. Feel how your butt is turned on and lower it down. Now try the other leg. Right leg lifts up. Feel how the hamstring and the butt are working together. Now you can do that again, or you can join me with both legs. So the legs are apart, lift both legs. Now float your chest away from the floor and lift your arms. My elbows are straight, my arms are reaching out. You're like Superwoman. Did she fly through the sky? I don't know. Reach out. We're holding and breathing, and then very gently come down slowly and relax everywhere. You can turn your head. And let's do that one more time. Ready? Turn on your legs, lift both legs, float the chest away from the floor. So I don't think about lifting my head. I think about the chest floating up. The arms reach out. Take a breath. We're just turning on the back body. And when you're ready, come all the way down. And relax completely. You can even bring your arms up under your head and just pause. And then slide one leg, one leg out under your head, one arm under your head, and then roll back onto your back. All right. So if you need to do a couple windshield wipers, if being on your belly and contracting through the back body is a little intense for you, it might feel good just to swish it all the way with a couple wipers. Now we're going to work on the core in a different way. We're going to bring ourselves into constructive rest. And I am not going to be in a tuck, so go to a tuck. We're not going to do that. Go to an untuck. We're not going to do that. We're going to be right in neutral. And we're going to use the breath. So I want you to close your eyes. Inhale in all directions. And as you exhale, make your SH sound. Shh. All the way to the end, force all the air out. That's when you feel this deep internal hug. Don't tuck. And do it again. Inhale. And exhale. Hear your sound. Create your sound. Push it out. Shh. Force it all the way empty, feeling that deep internal hug. Last time. I want you to make the sound, because when you make the sound, it creates a pressure. And I want you to feel the body cinching in side to side, front and back, top and bottom. You might feel the pelvic floor muscles turn on. Let's try one more time. And this time, maybe don't make the sound. Just see if you can find that contraction without the sound. Let's see if you can feel, oh yeah, down deep in the pelvic area, you feel contraction as well. and then let it relax. Take a breath. Good. And then we're going to roll on over. Pause on your side. And then use your arms and peel yourself up. So when we do that, when we exhale and we feel this internal hug, the opposite of expanding in all directions, we feel this contraction in all directions. This is what I mean when I say turn on your core when we're in plank pose. That's what I want you to feel. And when you make the sound, it really like triggers and it just turns everything on, and you want to feel that. Okay. Let's grab our blocks. We need to lunge. Feeling well. My body is well. My body is well. It's going to be weller in a minute after this lunge. Pick a foot. And once you're in it, you can move forward and back. As always. Good, good, good. All patting under your knee. If lunging on the floor doesn't work for you, you could lunge in the chair or lunge at the wall. You could take a potty break, but I really want this opening. The reason we lunge is to lengthen out the psoas. If the psoas is tight, it's really hard to do abdominal work. Support yourself in plank pose. Let's come forward into lunge. And I'm going to make my blocks a little lower. I'm going to shift a little left to right. That feels yummy. I'm going to practice lifting the back knee off the floor today. So we're going to bend the back ankle, tuck the toes, lift your butt. Keeping the front knee over your heel. We're going to press through the back heel. Push strong into your arms. And then if you have it in you, if the toes move and bend, can you move a little forward and back? This is good for the toes and the ankles, which need to move and bend when we're in plank pose. All right, and then I'm going to pause, press, come out by going a little forward. Take the knee down. We're going to relax the back toes, and for a moment, just let your head hang. Take a full breath. Let the head be very heavy and let the hips sink down. Use your arms to back out of there. Use your arms, back up your butt, flip up your blocks. Now take the front foot and wiggle it forward. And as I wiggle the front foot forward, now we want to untuck. So as my pubic bone goes down, I lift my chest and face, bend the front ankle, turn the toes to the sky, take a full breath. And then we're going to soften out of that for a moment so you can kind of go back into your tuck, relax your foot. I know you're so excited to do it again. Ready? Untuck pubic bone down, toes to the sky, lift your face. Feel the stretch from the foot to your butt. And then come out of there. And we'll do the other side. Side two. Check alignment. And then get moving back and forth. Inhale as you go forward. Exhale as you go back. Inhale to go forward. Keep going if you need to keep going forward and back when you're ready. Let's stay in the lunge, and I'm going to make the blocks a little shorter. Always checking alignment, and we're going to shift a little left to right. And I'm going to go up. So I'm going to bend the back ankle, tuck your toes. We're right in the center. We're going to lift the butt up. The front knee is over the heel, and the back heel presses back. Arms are strong. Push the floor away. Sink the pelvis. And we're going to do a little rock forward and back. It's making the back foot be bendy at the toes and bendy at the ankle. Always get little cracks. And then I'm going to pause in my good alignment, push into my arms. I'm going to sink the pelvis down. Rock forward and take the back knee to the ground. Relax the back toes. And we're going to pause here. Just let the head be very heavy. Sink the pelvis and back it up. And then I'm going to flip my blocks up really tall. And I'm going to take the front foot, wiggle the toes forward, untuck the pelvis, pubic bone down, toes up. Take a breath. And another. And then just soften the foot. Just come out of it. Soften the foot. You can tuck. Go back in. Pubic bone down. Bend the ankle. Toes to the sky. Take a breath or two. And then get out of there. Pulling your foot back. Wiggle out those hands. I want to take a moment and just kind of warm up our shoulders a little bit. I'm going to sit. If sitting is easier for you in a chair, I'm going to sit on my blocks. If sitting is easier in a chair, you could certainly sit in the chair. I don't know why I'm so out of my picture today. I don't mind if you do this in the chair. Sitting things are easier in the chair a lot of times. Okie dokie. So let's just move the shoulders. I want to take the shoulders up to the sky, up towards your ears. I'm just going to hold them there for a moment. We'll pendiculate, holding tension in the muscles so that when we relax, the muscles relax more than normal. And let's do that again. Shoulders up. And nice and slow, shoulders down. Now let's squeeze them back. So as I squeeze my shoulders back, I'm going to let my elbows bend. Just kind of squeeze, 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 squeeze. I can lift my face, move the pubic bone down, and release. And again, pubic bone down. I open up the front of the ribs, squeeze the blades back, lift the face, take a breath, and release. Let's take the hands down. A lot easier in the chair, and I'm just going to reach down so I feel stretchy on the top and kind of working underneath. I'm just going to reach, 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 and release. And one more time. Reach, 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 reach. Spread those fingers wide. Hello, fascia. And release. And then let's curl the front of the shoulders towards each other. Curl the front of the shoulders and go into a little tuck position and drop the head down. And then sit up. And then do it again. Draw the belly and go into a little tuck. Bring the shoulder blades together and lower your face. Squeeze the blades, squeezing the chest. And inhale, come up. And then just make 2 circles. So we're just going to go up, squeeze back, and down, and forward. So when we do plank pose, we're going to ask the muscles to turn on and work and push. And what we're doing in plank pose is we're pushing, so it's moving my shoulder blade away from my spine. So if you've got a wonky shoulder and it's kind of stiff and stuck, and then you go stiff and stuck into plank pose, it doesn't feel very good, and I don't think it's very effective. So a couple circles. And then can you do the backstroke? And when I do the backstroke, I am feeling this rotation in the ribs. So tissues get stuck to each other when they're stiff, and we just stop moving. All right, let's try a new one. So we're gonna interlace the fingers, and I'm gonna kind of hold tight. I'm gonna pull my fingers away from each other. So I'm really holding, gripping, and then I'm moving outwards. And then I'm gonna take my arms up. And as I bring my arms up overhead, my fingers are interlaced and I'm pulling my hands away. So my hands are really working. And then make sure that you're not out here, sitting up, have your ears inside your arms. I'm still pulling, and I'm just gonna start to circle. My hands are pulling, they're energetically pulling away from me. And then just go to the place of, comfort. Don't push to the point of pain. Go the other direction. Good morning, shoulders. Good. That feels so good. And then pause in the center, and then just soften down. Take a breath. While we're here, we'll go sideways. We're just going to bring one hand down to the floor, the block. Just drift on over to the side. And we're going to rotate the chest a little towards the sky. Take a breath. Bend the bottom elbow. When you're ready, inhale, come all the way up. Let's go the other direction. Bring the hand down. Bring the arm up. Inhale, reach up like you mean it, and bring the arm over near your head. We're going to lean in, lay the head down. Turn the chest a little to the sky. Take a breath. Bend the bottom elbow. And inhale, come all the way up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, we are ready to go. So we're going to come down to the hands and knees and do a little cat and cow, and then we'll play with plank pose. When you're ready, draw the belly in, go rounded through the back. Inhale, saggy cow. Draw the belly in, that's a tuck. Inhale, saggy cow. And then one more time. So if you need to be at the wall for plank pose, you could go to the wall and join us. I'm going to pause and practice plank pose. You can be up high or down low on your arms, on your forearms, or up high if your wrists and hands can handle it. If you have a problem there, go down onto the forearms. Here we go, ready? Step back with one foot. I'm gonna press through the heel, and I'm gonna go into a tucked position. So I draw the belly in, I push the floor away, I keep that belly button pulled in, and I step back with the second foot. Push through the heels, tuck your tailbone strong, turn on your glutes, turn on your thighs, push the floor away. If you're at the wall, you're just stepping back and doing the same thing. Firm the thighs, tuck the tailbone, pelvic floor turns on like you gotta pee, the belly is pulled in, the arms are pushing away, and we breathe. Where am I gonna breathe? Breathe into your side ribs. Push, 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 push. And when you're ready, come down and rest one foot, one knee, then the other knee, and we can take a break in child's pose. Now Mondays we always play with our downward facing dog. So we'll play with down dog. You could do this at the wall. We did this last week. And we'll do dog, and then we'll pause, and then we'll put it together like a little flow. We'll go back and forth. From child's pose, reach your arms way, way, way out in front of you. Take a breath into those side ribs, and come up onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Now, tuck your tailbone. Draw the belly in. Go to a tuck. And I'm going to push the floor away and lift the knees a little. That engages the abdominals. That is puppy pose. You can stay there or lift your hips high. Take your ears inside your arms.
Keep your knees bent and your heels up. I'm going to push through the arms, rotating the arms, feel like they're spinning towards my head. Pressing through the arms, my ears and my shoulders feel like they're coming towards my ears. I'm going to walk my dog. The belly is in. One heel up, one heel down. And then pressing both heels down, tucking through the tailbone, pull the belly in, push the arms strong into the floor. And you can stay there. If you're happy and you know it, you can lift one leg up in the air. If you've already come down, you're like, hey, I want to do that. Well, come on up and join me. Bringing that leg down, try the other. If you lifted your foot off the floor, just be happy. Don't worry about how high it goes. And when you're ready, pull the belly in, take the knees down, and give it a break. Trying new things. Trying new things. That's all we're ever doing. We're taking a break. And then we're just going to put it into a flow. So do what you can. All right, here we go. Ready? Let's start in plank pose, and then you'll have the option to rest, put your knees on the floor, and go to downward facing dog. So in plank pose, stepping back with one foot, tuck your toes, tuck your tailbone, turn your core on. Ready? Go. Inhale, exhale. Shh. Push your arms away. When you feel the core engage, step back with the second foot. Press through the heels, push through the arms. Suck the belly in, feel the legs strong, turn your glutes on. And then we're going to push back to downward facing dog. You can bend your knees, press through the arms, press through the heels if you can. Take a break when you need it. Come back to plank pose if you can. Pushing through the arms, tuck the tailbone. Find the core. Shh. Find your core. Shh. One more time. Shh. Stay, stay, stay. We practiced a baby push-up last week or the week before. The creases of the elbows are forward. If you want to try a baby push-up for this upper body strengthening, I bend my elbows, they go back towards my feet, straighten the elbows, go back to downward facing dog. Pressing through the arms, draw the belly in, and rest when you're ready. Bloop. Come all the way down, and let's just stretch out the belly. So if you had your core turned on, this will feel good and probably feel a little stretchy. Use your arms in Sphinx. Now my elbows feel like they're pulling back towards my feet. I feel like I'm pulling my heart away from my hips. The feet are apart, the shoulders are down. We're taking a breath into the side ribs. And then we're going to come down, lay on the side body, and have a blanket, towel, pillow, something for under your head. We made it back to the floor. All right, so here we are on our side body. We're gonna bring the knees up high for just a moment. And we're gonna just do nice and simple. I want you just to lift the top knee and lower it down, and then lift your foot and lower it down. Just a warm up for the hips. So this is an external rotation. Lower down, Keep the knees together as you lift your foot. This is an internal rotation. I'm just going to do one more time. Just in case you were tensing up in those plank poses. Last one. And relax. Now take your feet and slide them back so they're in line with your butt. My knees just lowered down. Bring your hand to your hip and move your hip down so the hips are stacked one on top of the other. My waist is lifted. And I'm going to untuck the pelvis, turn on the core. Bring the top hand to the floor and lift the top leg up. The bottom leg is nice and light on the floor. Keep your hips stacked and your pelvis untucked and your core engaged. And we're going to lift and lower the leg a couple hundred times. And you should start to feel the muscles working. That's their job. These muscles through the top, the hip, the butt, the piriformis, their job is to externally rotate your thigh bone. Bloop. Externally rotate the thigh bone. And then we're going to stay up. And we're just going to come down an inch and then go back up. My best days physically, when I really feel well, are the days when I do my clamshells and my bridge pose, because I feel the stability in my hips. And when I have stability in my hips, I don't have that cranky pain in my sacrum, my lower back doesn't hurt, my legs don't get so tired. Now we're going to go all the way down and all the way up for just a couple more. Let's check our alignment. Go up and stay. Make sure your hips are stacked, the waist is a little lifted, you're untucked, your core is on, and we're just going to go all the way down and all the way up for just two more. Just two more. Should really feel it working, right? Yeah. And then you get to relax. All right, that was 3. And then we're going to lower down, let the waist lower down. I'm going to bring my bottom leg up to 90 degrees. I'm going to take my top leg out straight. I'm going to move my hip away. My waist just lifted off the ground. I'm going to turn on my core and lift my leg. Now, I'm not trying to lift my leg all the way to the sky. I want you to kind of lean a little forward so you can't really lift it up very high at all. I'm just going to lower down and lift. Just finding some different muscles through the side of the hip. Some more stabilizers. Don't you feel like your leg is like 1,000 pounds? Just up and down. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 of them. Keeping the waist lifted, the hips stacked. My foot feels like it's reaching away. I'm really starting to feel this kind of burning feeling. And I'm going to stay up now. And I'm going to turn my toes down and forward. And then turn your toes up and forward. Let's do it again. Internally rotate, toes down, forward, turn the toes up, forward. One more time if you can, down, forward, up. Now this time, let's turn the toes downwards and just go down and up a couple of times. Keep the toes turning down. It's not going to feel like it turns down very far. I'm really starting to feel stuff. Yeah, you feel it? You're welcome. And then lower down all the way and let your legs rest on top of each other. All right, we got to do the other side. So we're going to come up and flip around. I love we can exercise laying down on the ground. All right, so my knees are up high and we're just gonna warm up, just kind of get things moving. We've done a lot of tuck and untuck and we've moved the shoulders and we found abdominal muscles and, you know, we moved our toes and lengthened our psoas. And now I want this movement, this external, internal rotation of the hips. A couple times. This is my funky one. Always funky. Good. And now I'm gonna make them really work. So I'm gonna take my feet, scooch them down so my feet are in line with my butt. My knees are kind of low. I'm gonna take your top hip, I can touch it,
And then move it down so my hips feel like they're stacked, my waist is lifted. And then to hold me here, I turn my core on. Shh. I'm gonna lean a little forward. I'm gonna lift up my top leg. I'm gonna hold it there. So the bottom leg likes to help. Help. But I want your core to turn on and your bottom leg can actually relax. I'm gonna go down and up a whole bunch of times. As I go up, I want you to think about your knee, not just going up to the sky, but kind of moving out away from you. It feels like it's going outwards and up. This will keep you leaning forward. If you feel like your knee is going all the way to the sky and your body is rocking, that's called cheating. Let's stay up for a second. Check your alignment, unstacked. You know, your hips are stacked, untucked. Turn the core on. Go back and do a couple more. Starting to feel it fire up, right? Then we're going to stay up there. And we're just going to come down an inch and then go back up. Down and up. Turn your core on. You can always shh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Feeling it now. Let's pause. Check your alignment. And we're just going to go all the way down and all the way up. All the way down. All the way up. And then we're going to be done with that one. Relax. You'll feel your waist land on the ground. Pull the knees up and then take your top leg and slide it out long. So those clamshells are really good, even for people with sciatica. You know, you might think, oh, wow, my butt is already too tight. But it's really helpful. I'll get into that on a sciatica day. But take your leg and reach it out so you feel like your waist lifts off the ground. You get real long through the waist. And I'm going to lean a little forward, and I'm going to lift that top leg up. And it should run, you know, if you're lined up well, it won't go any higher because you kind of bump into some bones there. So if you can go really high, you're probably not lined up well. Lean forward, the waist is a little off the ground. And we're going up and down, just tapping the floor and coming up, starting to feel those muscles fire up and work, right? Before they get too tired, let's play around with internal and external rotations. So my leg is up. I'm going to rotate my toes downwards. That happens from the hip and forward. And then I'm going to turn the toes up, forward, down, forward, up. We got two more. Down, up. And then this time, we're going to go turn the toes downwards, and we're going to go up and down a couple times. Just kind of tap the toe on the ground. Lean forward, keep the waist lifted, keep the core engaged, starting to feel these muscles. Great if you're playing tennis, pickleball, I don't know, walking, grocery shopping. Level out the toes, just do one more with the toes forward and then give it a break. Bring those knees up, relax everywhere. And then on your back, grab a block. I keep thinking I'm going to do a class that's 20 minutes long. I don't know. I don't know how that gets done. Feet on the floor, knees bent. I'm going to try because I keep challenging myself to do new things. Because new things are driving me crazy. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of all these new things I have to learn. And then I thought, well, you could just accept it, Andrea, and just do more new things, and maybe it won't be so uncomfortable. Here we go. Block between the knees. It's working. We're going to lift the butt, squeeze the block, send the knees forward, engage your butt, and then come on down. When you lift, don't initiate the lift with a tuck. Start in neutral and just send the pelvis to the sky. We've been working the outer side of the butt and hips. Now this is what I call like the under butt, the part of your butt that hangs out the bottom of your underwear. Add the breath. Inhale up, exhale down. If you're feeling fabulous through the arms and shoulders, add the arms. Inhale up, exhale down. Use your glutes. Now we have a symphony happening. We have the hamstrings, the glutes, the back, the arms, the breath working in harmony. Last one, you can keep your arms down and just lift your pelvis up, send your knees forward. We're just going to pause here for the count of 4. Send your knees forward, 3, engage the glutes, hold the block, 2, 1. Now come down very slowly. We're going to roll down through the spine, feeling each bone of the spine land on the floor. Taking your block out, I'm going to bring it over to the side of the body and we're going to rotate. So I'm going to bring my left leg straight. I'm going to take my right leg across the body for a twist. So sometimes you can roll onto the left side of the body, or I don't know what side of the body you're on. So roll to one side, bring your knee up. I'm using my block under my leg just as some support. If your leg can go to the floor, that's great. If it can't go to the floor, slide a block or blanket under there. And we're just going to rotate the chest open into our twist. And if it feels tight and stiff, just kind of rotate out of it and then ease back in. If you've been around, that's what we've been doing with our twist. So this will give us some kind of stretch through the butt and a rotation in the spine and a little twist through the belly organs that we've been smushing up as we've been contracting, holding the core. Let the head rest and breathe. When you're ready for side 2, bring the bottom leg up. We're going to head on over to the other side. So you could start on your side. I really like a little something under my head. Bring the top leg up and scooch the bottom leg out straight. Gonna get that bottom shoulder out from under so the back arm can start to rotate back. And I like when this top leg feels something beneath it. So if you want to slide a block, blanket under there. If it feels really cranky and stiff, try rolling out of the twist towards the leg and then rotate back in. Noticing your breath. My body is well. My body is well. And that feels complete. Take your time. You can roll to your side. We're going to situate for a resting pose, whatever that looks like for you. So legs over a chair. I don't mind if you do legs up the wall, if you wanted to rest with your legs up the wall. If you're near a wall. If you're going legs up the wall and the knees bother you, you can just kind of let your knees bend and let the bottoms of the feet rest on the wall. And wherever you are, settling into a comfortable position, just take a couple of breaths. Notice the softening that happens as you exhale. Sensing that support beneath your back. Resting through your jaw and your face. And for a moment, just let all parts of the body surrender to gravity. Having a sense of all parts, outside and inside. Letting go. Noticing the calm. Repeat to yourself, my body is well. My body is well. My body is well. What does that look like? What does wellness feel like? What does wellness feel like? If you are feeling well, physically fabulous, strong, calm, if you are taking the time for yourself, and going with the flow. What does it look like? How would it feel? Notice that you're breathing. Bringing this feeling of wellness back with you. As you take your time and roll to your side whenever you're ready. as you move throughout the day. Noticing where your mind is, choosing your thoughts. I am well. In this moment, I am well. Carry it throughout the day. Namaste.